Well, two new Sonic games have been announced recently, Sonic Mania and the untitled Sonic game for 2017. I haven't been this excited to play a new Sonic game since Generations. With two new games bringing the Speed Demon to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Enigmatic NX, it's hard not to be eager to play these. I'm looking at these one at a time, giving what I think about them and what I want from them. Starting off with Mania, it's a retro style continuation of the classic series. I like that it's going to carry on where Sonic 3 and Knuckles left off, with all three protagonists playable. Yes, Tails and Knuckles are back in full force. We've gotten more than enough of solo Sonic games, with Tails tagging along once in a while for the past 6 years, and it's refreshing to have Knuckles back in action. The style is bright and colorful, with some inspired imagery from Sonic CD in the stage Studiopolis. This game is already getting a lot of love from fans, calling it the return of the 2D classic era. Alright, something to get out of the way. 2D has always been a part of Sonic, even when the franchise began its consistent turn to 3D in the late 90s. In the same year a new 3D game comes out, a handheld 2D installment will also come out. Sonic Adventure 2 isn't your thing? Don't worry, Sonic Advance has got you covered. Still, I know where the older fans are coming from. They want something to capture the look and feel of the classic era they know and love. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 overall tried to do that, but they ended up more like tributes to the classics rather than proper follow-ups to them. Sonic Mania doesn't have a numerical title, but we can tell it's a worthy successor. Having the style is one thing, but I wanted to also carry on something special about Sonic 3 and Knuckles: the story. Yeah, a lot of people don't bring this up, but the classics did have stories with a few cutscenes. Sonic CD and Sonic 3 and Knuckles are the best of that era in my opinion, because they did have the stronger ones. The latter had cutscenes that showed how the three heroes went from one stage to another. They were connected. This game also showed us that pivotal moment when Knuckles joined the side of good. It was short, but it was powerful too. I want to see more moments like that throughout the next journey. The only thing that I kinda don't like about it is the 50th return of Green Hill Zone. I am so done with this place. I made a video recently where I count the dozens of versions of Green Hill Zone. Yeah, it's the most popular stage, but it's been the opening level of other throwback games like Sonic Advance and Sonic 4 Episode 1. Green Hill Zone is more expected than surprising at this point. I don't care that much. I wouldn't mind if this is the last time we see it. Overall, Sonic Mania looks spectacular and I'm excited to play it. But Sonic 2017 is the one I'm looking forward to more, since it's the first continuation of the main series in a long time. And to my surprise, the first to show some love for the Adventure era fans like myself. On a side note, I used to be a G1 on Screw Attack. A few of the blogs I've written were articles where I defend the 3D games during its rough times in the Boom era, when hating on Sonic, the newer games especially, was all the rage. My favorite article that I've written is about how the Boom era came to be and how we shouldn't give up on Sonic. I acknowledged the best of the 3D games, the fans, and I ended on an optimistic high note. It was shared on Facebook by the Adventure Era fans page. That was my proudest moment as a G1 and as a Sonic fan. The Sonic Adventure Era Facebook page, as well as the True Sonic Spirit channel, have spent the last couple of years to prove Sega and cynical fans everywhere that we Adventure Era fans will not be silent about our love of the franchise. Sonic isn't dead, and the jump to 3D wasn't a mistake. With what I said earlier, that I love the teaser. After 6 years of trailers playing it safe with Sonic just running from place to place without a care in the world, it's so sweet to have a dramatic opening with the city on fire. Sonic's looking pissed and ready to save the world like it's his final battle. He runs off to the two giant robots. A chunk of debris is about to hit Sonic. The screen says he needs some help. At this point, I thought some of his friends would show up. It's been ages since we've had other characters playable since the major 3D title. And it's classic Sonic. Again. Okay, to make something clear, I don't hate classic Sonic and I still like the teaser. I know Generations was Sega's last super successful Sonic game, and a spiritual successor would sound like a logical move. But here's the thing. The classic era has been dominating the franchise since 2010. Green Hill Zone, 2D gameplay, Sonic as the only playable character. We already have Mania covering the early 90s nostalgia. Do we need more of that in the new 3D game? At least I think it will be 3D. The classic era has been overshadowing the adventure era for years. I want 2017 to move forward in the canon, since the franchise hasn't advanced in the lore since Sonic Unleashed. Colors Through Lost World felt more like we've been lost in this tongue-in-cheek, ultra-colorful maze. Still, I don't really know a thing about the story. Maybe 2017 will be a step forward. Speaking of the story, I want the game to be driven by one instead of just kinda having a story. In Sonic Adventure 2, there's a reason why each stage is there. Sonic is in City Escape because he escaped from the helicopter above San Francisco. Tails is in Prison Lane because he's breaking Sonic out of jail. Knuckles is in Death Chamber because he's looking for a rocket to get to Dr. Eggman in the Space Colony Arc. Sonic 06 even got this right at times. Shadow is chasing after Eggman's train to interrogate the scientist. Silver is in the underwater laboratory to learn about the origins of the game's main villain. Sonic Adventure 2 was story driven. That's one big reason why it's my favorite Sonic game. Sonic Lost World just kinda had a story. You do random stage after random stage to have the characters talk. So the stages don't matter to the plot. How's Tropical Coast different from Frozen Factory? In Sonic Colors, a certain cutscene can have either Sweet Mountain or Starlight Carnival in the background. There's no major difference between these two stages when it concerns the story. I know a lot of classic era fans don't care about the story or the characters.
And with a cast of characters that keeps on growing, it's safe to say that we don't give a crap about any of these characters. All we need is Sonic, Eggman, and maybe Tails and or / Knuckles. And I guess the Sonic Adventure generation probably likes Shadow too, because he's all like dark and edgy. Also, who the heck is this Badger chick, and what's the story here again? Just save the cute animals from Eggman and boom, Sonic game.
But we do. We want a big and memorable story for this game. Not something overdramatic or convoluted, but engaging enough for us to stay hooked from start to finish. We want to be invested in the story for 2017 like we were in Adventure 2. We want to feel something emotional like Gamma's ending in Sonic Adventure. We want to feel triumphant, optimistic like in the ending of Sonic Unleashed. The 3D games are a big deal to us, and we want the kind of attention and respect the classic era fans have been getting. I also don't know how the gameplay will work out. Seeing classic Sonic practically gives away he'll be playable in 2D stages. If that's the case, can modern Sonic's gameplay please be entirely in 3D? Starting with Sonic Unleashed, the gameplay has this 2D, 3D hybrid. In that game's handheld counterpart, it's all 2D, so the 2D in the console version is a little less special. Sonic Colors kept it going, but with much more 2D than 3D. And that game's handheld version is pretty much all 2D. Sonic Generations did the exact same thing, so there's way more 2D than 3D for a while. I am honestly surprised Lost World for the 3DS had the combo. I'm tired of the hybrid. I get more than enough 2D with classic Sonic, but not enough 3D with modern Sonic since the hybrid style has become a staple with him. With 2017 luring us adventure fans, let's hope it's a sign there will be more 3D. One last thing about 2017. It's for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and NX. I want this game to show it off a little. Last time a new Sonic game was made for the next PlayStation and Xbox was back in 2006. Yeah, Sonic 06 was the worst Sonic game, but truth be told, I couldn't help but get hyped for it at the time. The trailers and screenshots of the game made it look so bold and epic. On top of that, I was just starting high school that same fall. Like Sonic, I turned 15 that year too. I was ready for change and the evolution of the franchise. It was kinda a big deal for me. But as we all know, it crashed and burned, plus the graphics aren't as polished as the advertisements made you think. Sonic didn't really make the complete transition to the newer consoles until Sonic Unleashed. I still stand by that it's the best looking Sonic game yet. That opening really pushed the envelope and made a lasting impression. I've wanted to see a new game top that for years. 2017 is likely the one to do so. Sonic Mania will be released next spring with Sonic 2017 following late that year. This is good. By releasing the smaller game in familiar territory first, that's a solid way of getting everyone excited for the bigger game coming later. The same way Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key is building up to the 2.8 collection, and how Pokemon Go is getting everyone psyched for Sun and Moon. Sonic Mania is the appetizer buttering us up for the main course. For the first time in a while, I am hyped for the future of Sonic. It's gonna be great. Thanks for watching and feel free to comment what you think about the next two Sonic games. Also, if you love the Adventure Era, then subscribe to True Sonic Spirit channel, and click the like button on Sonic Adventure Era fans on Facebook. See you next time.